Give me a second while I get everything up and running. Ooh, is it going to pop in or not? There it goes. Beautiful. Have to wait for everything to say, hit this button. All right. I hope everyone is doing well today. Give me just a moment. And let me pull this up on my phone. And as you get here, make sure that you say hello and let me know that you're here. All right, where the heck is it? Hold on. Give me just a second. There we go. All right. All right. As we are here live this morning, and I know yesterday I promised I'd be on time, and I'm close. It was like I could the different things were not connecting the way that they're supposed to, and so it took me a moment to get on here, but I am here now. Let me have a sip of my coffee. And I'm ready to do this one. This one's really good today, I think. Of course, I know I say that every day. But remember, it all comes from the heart. It comes from a place of this is something that really was on my mind. And so when that happens, it just feels like, oh, it's my baby, right? Let me check and see where we are here. Oh, I know what it was I was going to do. Hold on. All right. There we go. I think we're good now. So it's been a beautiful morning here so far. It's really cold outside, and luckily I'm indoors and I'm comfortable. And it's interesting as the temperature gets colder outside, and you know, the discrepancy between outside temperature and the inside temperature gets bigger and bigger, then it starts feeling kind of warm inside at an even cooler temperature. It's weird, but not so warm that I'm not wearing a cardigan or sweats or something, you know? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this affirmation and we'll get started. Let's hope it all shows up. There we go. Beautiful. And remember, as you get here, make sure that you say hello and let me know that you're here. All right, so today's affirmation. I am a lifelong learner, always growing into the version of me I aspire to be. Every day, I discover more, grow more, and step closer to my fullest potential. That's a mouthful, right? And isn't that beautiful to think about? Because the thing of being a lifelong learner, always growing into the version of ourselves, because, you know, a lot of people get to a place where they seem to be, now it could just be my outward looking at them, but a lot of people seem to just get so into their ordinary existence and they get so complacent that they don't even try to learn new things. They don't even try to grow at all. And, you know, and I think that's what happens to a lot of people who retire, and the thing that they were doing for so long is no longer a part of them. And then they just stop. And that's the reason why so many people pass away, right? Not too long after they retire, because they're no longer striving to be or do something. They're just like, okay, it's over, and they stop. And so I really want to express this to you, how important it is. And if you're part of this group, and then I'm sure you're aware of this, but continue to learn, continue to grow. Like I was just talking to my sister earlier, and her husband, and my sister is 2 years older than me, and I think her husband's 2 years older than her. I can't remember, but anyway, the the thing is that they just decided to learn Spanish. And so they've started taking these classes, these Spanish classes. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be that you're learning something for your business, right? It could be just learning something for yourselves. And so that would be learning a language. What if you dreamed when you were a little child that you could play the guitar, and then you've played with it a little bit, but you really haven't mastered it, you can't do it very well. Maybe it's time to pick that guitar back up and just play. No agenda or anything, just learn. So now you can find so much information just on YouTube alone, right? So you could find some different ways to learn that on YouTube. Maybe you used to do some crocheting or some knitting, and you haven't done it in a long time, and you've even forgotten how to do the stitches. Take it up, pick up a needle, pick up whatever you need to, and start learning it. Because learning anything new exercises the brain and actually gets the neurons in your brain to start wiring and firing and wiring all different ways, so that it's almost like exercise for the brain, so to speak, right? And so it will help you to remember more. It will help you to, the more you learn about something you don't know, the easier it is to learn the next thing. So it's just this exercise that you do every day. And one of the things that's important to remember is that if you're in a place in your life where you're not where you want to be yet, and let's face it, most of us, even if we get where we thought we wanted to be, then we dream something new. And that's beautiful, right? The thing is that whatever you're aspiring to be, you have to become the person that has the skill, has the knowledge, has the strength, has all the things to be that, right? And remember, we just talked yesterday about a 1% change every day creates exponential growth. And so your 1%, if you're going toward a particular thing that you would love to have or be, then it's inevitable. It's going to come until the place where you have mastered it, to the thing where you don't even have to think about it anymore. Like the guitar reference, right? In the beginning, you have to, I don't know how to play the guitar, but I will say my first husband was a musician. And so he showed me stuff, but it was like, I don't want to do it bad enough to keep doing this. It was making these places in my fingers, and my fingers hurt, and and it was a chore to me. And it wasn't, to me in that moment, it wasn't really what I wanted to spend my time on. However, the thing is, if in the beginning I had to think exactly how much pressure I put on my fingers to hold that string down, right? And then I had to think about how awkward it is because my hands are small. And so to stretch them out on the neck of the guitar was a little bit difficult. So I had to think about every little movement. But see, if I had continued doing that, at some point, it would have gotten where my hands just automatically went to the right note on the strings, the right key, and then I would be just playing without consciously thinking. Just like when you learned to drive and you had to sit behind the wheel, you had to remember, okay, let me check this mirror, let me check this mirror, let me look around, let me see. And when I turn my blinker on, if I'm going right, I need to go up with it. If I'm going left, it's like you had to think about each little activity that you did. But now you get in the car You can have a conversation with people. You can be listening and singing to music. You could be listening to a book. You can be doing all of these things while you're driving. You don't have to consciously think about turn your wheel to the right, hit the up for the blinker to go to the right. You don't have to think about that. And even if it's a stick, and then you go to change gears when you first get in that car, even today, when I get in a stick, I have to look and see, okay, where are the gears in this car? Because they're not all the same. And then once I've done it a couple of times, it's like just effortless because I know how to drive a stick, right? But when you first learn, it's like putting your foot on the accelerator. And now what about the brake? And then, oh my gosh, and what about the clutch? And you have to think about it and how much you give pressure to it and how slowly you let off the clutch. All of those things are on your focus the whole time you're driving. But then after you've done it for a long time, no brainer. You just do it. And that's what, when you get to the place where you can learn and suddenly this thing that you learned no longer feels like an effort. It feels like, well, I can just do this. And it's so slow that sometimes we don't even recognize that we've made that change, that it has become effortless for us, right? So it's a beautiful thing to be a lifelong learner, right? So I am, and remember anything that comes after the words I am, exceptionally powerful, right? You're claiming it. That is you. I am a lifelong learner, always growing into the version of me I aspire to be. Every day I discover more, grow more, and step closer to my fullest potential. Good morning, Lynn. Good to have you here. So just feel into this one. I am a lifelong learner, always growing into the version of me. If you can dream it, it means it's possible. You just got to learn and grow into the person that does that, right? Every day I discover more, grow more, and step closer to my fullest potential. All right, now I'm going to share the journal prompt, and let me take this part off so make sure it will show up, and it still might not. Let's see. Oh, good. Only thing that didn't show up was a question mark. We're good. All right. So, and I really love this journal prompt here. What are your biggest dreams and aspirations? How's that for a big one, right? What are your biggest dreams and aspirations? And that could be, with your business, with your relationships, your personal life, your fitness, your health, your communication skills. There's so many things that could be big dreams and aspirations for you, right? Because when we're talking about this, we're not just talking about how we go through life and business. We're talking about life itself, right? So what are your biggest dreams and aspirations? And a lot of times we, over the years, have kind of disconnected from some of our dreams and aspirations because someone or something that someone has said, something we've seen on TV, something that someone said to us when we were little, something has actually got us to this. When we dream this, we think, oh, that's really not for me. That's not even available. There's no way I could accomplish that. Maybe I'm old enough now that I don't have time to learn that. I don't have time to be that. Whatever is coming up, that's a limiting belief that we need to just eliminate as soon as possible, right? Because no matter how much time you've got left on this earth, you can aspire to be anything. Even if somebody says, well, it would take you 10 years to learn that. So If I start today, will I know it in 10 years at least, if not before? The thing is that you're going to get, if you stay alive, right, you're going to get 10 years older regardless. So why not start working towards something that you want to do, regardless of how long it's going to take you to get there? And I know that's easier said than done because we live in a world of quick fix, right? People are all the time wanting to know, how can I do that faster? How can I do that faster? And the thing that I want you to think about is because, like our affirmation, I'm a lifelong learner, right? Becoming who I need to be, right? To handle that. So that's where the second part of this comes from. As you've listed all of that out, then write down how you can grow into the person who makes those dreams a reality. What skills, mindset, or actions will help you get there. Because the thing is that if you're not growing into that, there's no way you'll ever get there. I don't care if you live 50 more years, right? The thing is, let's look at our dreams and who do we want to be? What is a dream that we had when we were young that maybe we kind of just left it to the wayside because somebody said, that's silly. You'll never make money doing that. Who do you think you are? Leave that to the people who know how to do it. I've heard that before, right? So it's time to step up. I mean, we're getting so close to the new year, and there's no better time than now. We can't go back and do it yesterday, but we can make a decision today to start looking at what our dreams are, what our aspirations are. And as we list them out, just be okay with whatever shows up. Don't judge, right? Just show up for your dreams, for you. So, all right, so I'm going to go back to our affirmation for today. Excuse me, let me take a sip of my coffee. I am a lifelong learner, always growing into the version of me I aspire to be. Who is that? Who do you aspire to be? Have you ever made one of those statements? Oh, I wish I could do that. I wish I'd learned that before. I wish. So, what are those wishes that show up in your regular vocabulary, right? That's what you really need to look at. Because most of the time, that stuff is just coming to the surface just enough for us to feel like, oh, wish I'd learned that years ago. I wish I'd kept learning that. Wish I hadn't given up on this. Do you have anything in your life that has been something that's come up? I would love to know. And, I will be very transparent with you here. There's things in my life that I gave up on many, many times. And some of those are things I would still want to do. And I'm going to put them, after today, I'm going to put them down on my journal, right? But some of them, it's like, it was a fleeting thought that it doesn't mean anything. And it's not anything that I want to spend time on because time is so precious, right? Especially as I get older. I realize that I want to live a long time, but I'm 65. So do I have another 50 years to work on this stuff? Maybe, maybe not, right? But then I also had my children's father passed away when he was 43. Is that right? Yeah. 43, I think. Oh my gosh. And so he didn't have as many years as I've had. So what I'm saying is we don't know. We never know how much time we have left. But wouldn't it be amazing to spend the time that we have on doing the things that we really want to learn, to grow and become? Instead of squandering such precious thing as the time of our life on things that don't matter, or the things that we just half-heartedly want to do. So just look at this today. Becoming the lifelong learner, always growing into the version of you that you aspire to be. Who is that? And then every day discovering more, growing more, and stepping even closer to your fullest potential, utilizing the precious, precious time that you have to be and have and do all the amazing things that you've dreamed of. It's time to step into that place and be aware. We can't grow and become and do until we know what we want to grow and become and do for ourselves. So take some time today to really play with this. And remember, anything that comes after the words I am, ultra powerful. So even if the only thing you put on your sticky note, your index card, the screensaver on your phone, anywhere, is I am a lifelong learner, always growing into the version of me I aspire to be. If you only put I am a lifelong learner, beautiful, right? But go ahead and expand it out if you want. The thing is, I wanted to put as much ignition and much fire, what is it, accelerant that you put on the fire to make it go bigger, right? I wanted to put as much into that as I could. Hold on a second. Allergies, right? We want to accelerate as much ignition of the fire within you now, because we are not average. I've said this so many times the last week or two, because average people wait and create starting January 1st. And those same average people usually give up within 30 to 60 days of whatever it is, because they create these massive dreams of things that they really feel like they will never get to. They don't have any idea of how to get there. They just want something big, but they don't know how to get there, and they just leave it at that. And then after a while of trying and not connecting with it, maybe it's not even their dream that they're aspiring for. That happens a lot. That's why it's so easy to give up on some things, because there's really no reason behind it. So dive in deep into what it is that you aspire to be and why, right? So you can start today dissecting a little bit and exploring a little bit of who you are today and the growth that is going to come as you look at the learning and the growing version of you. And Sue Anderson and I have an amazing group that we're working with, and it's called Mining Your Acres of Diamonds. And it has definitely been amazing to work with Sue, and we mesh together so well with creating this group. And it's all about, the fact that we have acres of diamonds. We have gold within us. that we keep pushing down and not letting it out. And what we're doing is we're searching for our gold and our diamonds everywhere else. And it's based on the book, Acres of Diamonds, right? And which was actually a commencement speech. I'm not sure, but they created a book out of it because it was such a powerful, powerful speech. And it's a powerful book. If you've never read it, definitely read it. And that's one of the things that people who join our group, our program, they get for free is they get the digital version of it. And then Sue is a tech person. So she's created bots and different things that she's putting in there that as you're going through the book, there's something there to help support you with that idea. It's amazing, really. But it's beautiful, right? And so as I'm thinking about this right now, what are your biggest dreams and aspirations? So many of us have dreams and aspirations that we don't let out because we think we don't deserve it at some point, or we think we can't learn it. We can't grow into it. But you can learn anything you choose to. Like I said earlier, what if somebody says, oh my gosh, it's going to take you 10 years to master the guitar? No, that's probably not true, but let's just for kicks and giggles, right? And you start today playing with it, start learning it little bit by little bit. And even if it did take you 10 years, what about in 10 years when you sit there and you're mastering and you're playing and you're just having a good old time? And it's going to happen way before that. But who cares how long it takes? Use your gifts and your talents and your desires to create and grow into whoever you want to be. Learn what you want to learn, regardless of how long you think it's going to take, because you're going to get older, God willing, regardless. So you might as well be aspiring and becoming even more, right? So your journal prompt today, what are your biggest dreams and aspirations? What are they? Now make sure they're yours and not what somebody else has told you you're supposed to dream because of your age or because of your gender or because of the color of your skin or because of, right? Because people want to give you all their baggage to carry around with you all the time. You don't have to pick it up and take it with you. You don't even have to pick up your baggage and take it with you. You can leave it behind, but you got to know what it is. But the best way to do that is to really dive into what are your biggest dreams and aspirations, as ridiculous as some of them may sound, and as how long it seems like some of them will take. Write them down anyway. List them out. Then once you've listed them out, I mean, from digging deep, 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 deep within, those dreams that you left a long time ago, what are they? List them out. Then write down how you can grow into the person who makes those dreams a reality. Right? How can you grow into the person who makes those dreams a reality? Now, I didn't say, who do you have to become? What do you do? Right? How can you grow into the person who makes those dreams a reality? What skills, what mindset, what actions will help you get there? All right, let me look over here, see what we're going on. So what do you think? Are you ready to tackle this one today? And tackle's not the right word. Let's see. Are you ready to explore this one today? Oh, that feels much better. And just a moment ago, I was referencing the program that Sue and I are doing with the Mining Your Acres of Diamonds. And actually today with that group, I'm going to be doing an amazing visualization, hypnosis kind of experience for them as the group. Anybody that shows up, we're going to be diving into so much to help us move into how can we grow into the person who makes those dreams a reality. It's going to be very powerful, right? And so I love doing this kind of thing to help people to go past their limiting beliefs. Maybe sometimes it's just kind of like stepping over a rock. Sometimes it's like climbing over a boulder. Sometimes it's climbing over a mountain. Wherever you are, it's doable. It just takes a little bit of asking the right questions and listening to your heart. So if you're ready to ask the right questions and listen to your heart, just put a 1 in the comments, say something and let me know that you're here listening. And because I know Lynn is here and I know you're at work, but if you can put something in the comments, and there's such a delay sometimes. So a lot of times I realize after I've already closed up, gotten off here, and I go back and look, somebody has said something and it was like, I never saw it. So if that ever happens to you and you put something on there and you feel like, and I don't even acknowledge it, it's not because I don't care or whatever it is, that it doesn't show up right away. It doesn't show up for me. And sometimes like that's why I use my phone to look to see what's going on, because a lot of times on Facebook, none of the things shows up when I'm doing the live on my computer, but it does on my phone. So if I ever neglect to acknowledge you and your existence or the questions or the statements that you've made, it's not because I don't love you. It's because for whatever reason, it's not showing up, and maybe I'll see it later and I'll respond. So just to let you know that. Okay. All right. So let me go back real quick to the affirmation. And remember, put this on your index card, the screensaver on your phone, your sticky notes, put it on your mirror with a chalk marker, put it on a piece of paper and stick it to the fridge, anywhere that you're going to be reminded today of this affirmation. I am a lifelong learner, always growing into the version of me I aspire to be. Always growing into the version of me I aspire to be. Every day I discover more. I grow more. And I step closer to my fullest potential. That feels good to me this morning. Very good to me this morning. And then our journal prompt. And like I always say, get your notebook out, your journal out, put the date, the affirmation, and the journal prompt. And then find just a few moments, 5-10 minutes. 10 minutes is really good to just drop into complete silence and just quiet that mind chatter and allow your subconscious mind, your God voice, to be just kind of mulling over this. What are your biggest dreams and aspirations? What are they? And then when you open your eyes, then just brain dump everything that comes up. Even if it was when you were a child, you wanted to be Superman. I don't care. Put anything that comes up, right? List them out. Then write down, how can you grow into the person who makes those dreams a reality? How can you grow into the person who makes those dreams a reality? What skills, what mindset, and what actions will help you get there? Maybe it's something you can find online. Maybe it's someone you can reach out to. Maybe it's being part of a group. Maybe it's hiring a coach. Whatever it may be, what skills, what mindset, what actions will help you get there? Just write out whatever shows up. No judgment. This is a judgment-free zone, right? I really love this one today. And so today I'm going to have a little bit of time later this afternoon that I'm really, really going to dive into this a lot more. And because this is a very busy morning, I have a meeting that I have to be on, a Zoom. Well, no, let me rephrase that. I have a meeting that I get to be on. And then at 2 p.m. Eastern is when I'm doing the group visualization hypnosis, and I'm so excited about that. And so many things throughout the day. And while I'm thinking about it, one of the things that I wanted to ask everybody in the group is, I have the podcast, Today's Dream, Tomorrow's Reality. And I interview people on there for amazing stories, right? And sometimes it's these huge stories, and sometimes they're not so huge. But let's look at it. When I say that, I'm thinking that's not true, because everybody feels so strongly about their story that to them it's big, regardless of whether it looks big to someone else, right? But if you have a story that you would like to share, and maybe you just want to share about your experience in the group, you want to share about your life, whatever it is, if you want to be a guest on my podcast, put podcast in the comments, or you can direct message me and I can send you my calendar. Maybe I'll put I will let you message me or put something in the comments. Put podcast in the comments if you would like to be a guest on my podcast, because I've got some spots that have opened up for this month that I've been not doing quite as many podcasts because I was doing so many every week that I didn't have time to do anything else. And so I decided that I was going to cut down on how many podcasts I do per month. And in doing so, now I feel like I've got a few spots I can open up, and I can create more podcasts. So if you're interested in that, definitely put podcast in the comments, or direct message me that you want to be on my podcast, and we will connect and make it happen. Because I love this podcast, Today's Dream, Tomorrow's Reality. And I started it just because I wanted to be able to have a voice. And now I feel like I'm allowing other people to have a voice as well. And so it's beautiful. And I'm wanting to explore a lot more about my coaching and my hypnosis and things like that on there as well. But you just put podcast in the comments or direct message me, and let's get you on the podcast. But for today, for right now, for right this minute, remember, our affirmation and our journal prompt are here to help guide you, help you to open up something in your mind that maybe you haven't thought of. Maybe it's helping you have better questions, or a new question for today that you might not have thought of, that helps you grow and become even more than you ever imagined. Because we have the capacity to be so much more if we open ourselves up to it. So today, be open to your biggest dreams and aspirations, and I will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern. Mwah. Love you guys.